I felt fine. I mean, obviously, I think not the way you want the game to go. I think really that loss starts with me and ends with me. I think the whole thing really is on me. I mean, I can't be making plays like that, but, I think there was some good things to be done, but I think, realistically, you got to take, ownership in the good and also the bad, and I think that, that loss starts with me and also ends with me.
For yourself, like you said, for starting well, how important was it just to kind of continue the journey how you're now getting back into a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season, long career, hopefully, but, you just kind of stick with it and just, go over the good and the bad, move on, and then just keep battling.
Talk about going over it. What are some of the things you want to take from this game?
I don't know. It's too early to say. I think you got to give it a few hours, maybe then look at it tomorrow and then go from there. I think it's really good just to wait until the next day.
I know you know Patty Giles a little bit. It's nice to see him get that
Yeah,
first game in
yeah, no, it was great to see him out there. He's a kid I've played with for a really long time, actually, and he's a really good kid. And I think just to see him out here, he's been battling so hard, and he's a great person and great player. So
I'm not at all trying to make any excuses, but what are the challenges of Florida moving ahead? Well, moving ahead without Barkov, your
yeah,
captain.
no, I mean he's obviously I think one of the best players in the world. Both on the offensive and the defensive side. And I think obviously when you don't have him in the lineup, then you got to switch things up. But I think, you know what, I think we have enough faith in this room, regardless of who's in, who's out, doesn't matter who they are. I think, we still have a lot of good players on this lineup, regardless of who's really in or out.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks, Spencer.
Just the transition game, we just got caught up on a little bit in the second period. Put us a little bit in the hole. It didn't really allow our best part of our game, which is our forecheck, to kind of get moving throughout the second half of the game. So just tighten it up from our puck plays through the neutral zone. I think will help us go a lot longer in Boston.
What can you learn when you're facing adversity like this early on in the season?
We have what we need in this room. Sucks not having your best players, but you know it's in here. Now it's just time for guys to pick up the slack when they can. I mean, it's two guys that are irreplaceable, but we have the guys that can go out and replicate into our system and what we can do. It's a group collectively, I think, is where you pick up what those two guys bring to the table.
You mentioned them being out. Are there things you can only learn in adversity sometimes like that?
Yeah, you have to be able to. You might as well plunge yourself right into it early, because it's going to come, throughout the year. And like I said, you might as well get it done with, and hope this is the only thing you run into. But it's here, and it's how we deal with it moving. And the back half of this road trip will be the telltale sign for us for this month and how we're going to come out of it.
As a new guy, only 3 games in, nice to get your first goal there.
Yeah, it was great. Our forward line made a great play for me to jump up in the hole there, and sometimes you're just trying to find an extra little spot there for them to be able to find you. And those guys, like I said, made a couple of really nice passes to find me in the slot. So it's good to get the first one and feel like you can kind of have some rain to kind of get up and play a little bit more, and felt like that was kind of the way that my game went tonight, and just kind of doesn't go any further than that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We just got caught in a bit of a transition war, and wouldn't be the game that we like to play. Some of that was we just mishandle a lot of pucks tonight. It's back-to-back games where we ice a puck that ends up, indirectly ended up in the back of our net. So that would be the hands part for 2 games haven't been there. I liked our last game in terms of effort. We drove hard. This one, I think, we didn't look like we had as much pushback when we needed it.
Spencer Knight's first NHL game since February of 2023. How would you evaluate his performance?
Well, we asked him to make some saves, especially in the back half of that game. I think a lot of it he looked solid in. Some communication things with his defense. He hasn't played with a lot of those guys back there because a bunch of them are new. So, yeah, it was fine. He made some good ones. He'll probably want 1 or 2 of those back. But it's been a while since he's been in an NHL net, so we build from there.
Thank you for those times. It's good to get some adversity out of the way early, obviously, with Barkov out. What do you hope the guys learn about themselves or take out of this current little block they're going to go through the next week or 2?
Well, we've won a bunch of hockey games in the past without him in our lineup. We have to play a style of game that'll allow that to happen. We're not at that. I mean, I think we were in our first 2. We weren't tonight, right? We didn't play a game that you can kind of survive without some guys out of your lineup. But I think we can get better at it.
So a couple guys, especially that first goal, Jesper and AJ making some plays happen out there. Just 3
Yeah.
games in, just early impressions of the new guys.
No, I like those guys. Haven't seen Thomas enough to give you a report on him, but I think that line is good if we can get him in the right hole. I think AJ played 16 minutes tonight. So we think when Thomas comes back, we think it can be a really powerful line. They can make some plays. We're asking a lot of Jesper to go into the middle. It's not his natural position, so there's something there for sure.
How do you
Patrick Giles.
how do you go about adapting without Alexander in the lineup for the next couple of weeks? And especially after what you saw today, I mean, how do you move forward?
We won't use today as a judgment. We've always run Lusteron and Lundell and Reinhardt when Barkov goes down, and then we just filter out the lines. There's 3 guys that are out of your top, and they, as good as Alex is, you're affected in some ways just as much by Matthew and in some ways by Thomas Nosek, because he has a certain really specific role for our team. So now we'll just make the adjustments, but we have a template that we've used that we'll stick with.
What did you make of Patrick Giles' NHL debut?
Yeah, I was happy for him. A little better in the face-off circle than I expected. Was it good? He's a big man that moves, so there's lots of raw potential there. I don't know that center ice will be where he spends most of his NHL time. He can get to the wing and be really effective, but we've got a bunch of guys in the middle right now that are not really used to it. So, no, he was good. I was happy for him. Okay.
Thank you.